Hey guys, want to smoke some pot? Maybe go skinny dipping in the lake?
Bitch, it's January. Who'd want to go skinny dipping on a night like this?
I guess you're right. It is a little bit chilly for camping. Why'd you bring us out here, Byron?
Because I'm going to give it to you straight about Friday the 13th. You see, that cabin over there on the edge of the lake, that's the old Fukata place. 3 years ago, on Friday the 13th, a newlywed couple moved into that cabin to get away from the city. They were never seen again.
What happened to them?
Nobody knows. Story goes that when they moved in, they found an old radio playing some strange, horrifying broadcast, a rogue transmission that drove them to madness. All signs point to them running off into the lake and drowning. Thing is, nobody ever found the bodies.
What a load of horse shit.
Is that true?
Some people say they're still there, haunting that cabin. They say that if you come around the old Fukata place on Friday the 13th, you can hear that old radio playing the same broadcast that drove the newlyweds insane.
Come on, Byron, you don't really expect us to believe...
What are the rogue transmissions? Are they murderous? Are they monstrous? Whatever they are, they're coming to this podcast. Yes, the one you're listening to right now. On Friday, January 13th, 2023. Whatever you do, don't dare listen alone.
This is the BrewVerie Report. Daily news, once monthly. Here are your anchors, Paige, JT, and Mike. Welcome to the BrewVerie Report, where we mock the news because sometimes you have to. This is Mike.
And this is Paige.
And JT is on assignment today, so he will not be here.
Yeah, sadly, we miss him. We miss you.
He must be off on some, frozen tundra lake or something. Who
He's
knows?
on a big mission for sure.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's get into our first story.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House? Yeah!
There you go. Why don't we just ask Osama Obama what is since he won by such a big amount.
Well, this has nothing to do with Osama Obama.
Oh my god, that sting gets me every time.
Yeah.
I can't not laugh. Okay,
So-
what you got?
British Columbia poised for drug decriminalization experiment. So, British Columbia is set to become the first province to decriminalize possession of small amounts of illicit drugs. But drug users, advocates, and the province's chief coroner warned that threshold of 2.5 grams set by the federal government ignores the hard realities of how people buy and use drugs in the province. So Canadians 18 years of age and older will be able to possess up to a cumulative 2.5 grams of opioids, cocaine, methamphetamines, and MDMA within BC as of January 31st, 2023.
Whoa.
So it's not legal, but it's decriminalized. So as long as you've got 2.5 grams or less, there'll be no charges at all.
Wow. Wow. I don't think that would ever happen here.
Probably
Sorry.
not.
Yeah, no.
The province applied for an exemption under the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act in November of 2021 with a threshold of 4.5 grams. Federal government lowered the threshold to 2.5 grams, citing feedback from law enforcement officials across BC, which is unfortunate because for a drug user, 2.5 grams is probably not enough. especially
Yeah.
a drug user that's been using a long time. But it's a good step in the right direction, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, where you stood on it, because I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it is a good thing too, because this will make it likely easier for drug users to get safer drugs.
Yeah.
They can deal with, the people pushing the drugs and stop bothering the users.
Or just go get it like that many amounts at a time.
Yeah.
And, like, if you need more, go back, but don't
Yeah.
travel with that much. Because there are too many people in prison, and in jail that are kind of wasting space for, people that are actually hurting other people.
Yeah. So Carolyn Bennett, federal minister of mental health and addiction, said the government's decision to reduce the threshold for possession from 4.5 to 2.5 grams was based on input from law enforcement across the country. She said that the threshold is a starting point that can be adjusted as needed. Bennett said law enforcement data revealed 85% of drug seizures are for quantities less than 2 grams, though it wasn't specified what time frame and region that data was specific to. But still, if you can worry less about the user and more about the person bringing the supply in.
Yeah. Yeah, that too.
And of course, this does not have anything to do with marijuana because that is fully legal in Canada. So this is another article. The latest data from BC Coroner Service shows that about 14,000 people have died since the province declared a public health emergency in 2016, with most of those deaths occurring in private residences. Illicit fentanyl was involved in 87% of those deaths in 2021. And I know somewhere in here, Vancouver was... Oh, here we go. The Crosstown Clinic, North America's only facility offering medical-grade injectable heroin, is a few doors down, and Canada's first supervised injection site has been a sanctuary across the street since 2003 for those shooting up drugs under the watchful eye of a nurse. Both places operate on a harm reduction model that aims to reduce the risk of overdose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's in the downtown east side of Vancouver. So they've been trying to fight illicit drugs for a long time, and it's not the user, it's the supply that has to be dealt with.
Yes.
And it's gotten worse since fentanyl took over. So if we can fight that,
Yeah.
it'll be a lot safer. And I mean, if we can try to help people with addiction issues, there'll be less crime.
Yeah.
Because if they're fighting to get that drug, they're going to
Exactly.
do it however they can.
That's the thing. I don't think cops really care about the person per se and what they're going through. They
Absolutely they don't.
I mean, that's the sad part. It's like once they get out, they're still going to be looking for that.
Yep.
So you're still going to be arresting these people. So we need to get to the actual problem and start, helping people who need, rehab and things like that.
Yeah, stop the violence towards users and start
Yes.
actually fighting against the actual importation of illicit drugs.
Yes.
All right. Well, I definitely wanted to share that.
Yeah, I definitely didn't know that, so I'm glad you shared it.
It just got announced, actually. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it just got announced January 1st, and it comes into effect January 31st. So that's, for government, that's instant.
Yeah, seriously, that's a miracle.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we were joking, I think it was on BrewVerie recently, about the fact that there's mushroom dispensaries already in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's how pot started too here. It was sold illegally in dispensaries, and cops left it alone because at least it was a safe supply, right?
Yeah. Oh,
So.
come on, America. Let's get with it.
Exactly.
So this is from Bismarck, North Dakota, and it was posted on December 28th, 2022. Brentley Iron Road is a 36-year-old man who is facing charges of felony for terrorizing and misdemeanor criminal trespass in connection with an incident that happened that Friday And according to a police affidavit, a clerk at the Simonson Station store confronted this man after he allegedly put packaged donuts into his coat. And so he was mad that he got caught. So he was like pissed off. He threw the donuts back. And when the clerk told him he needed to leave, he pulled a hatchet from his waistband. And
Holy shit.
he raised it towards her, threatening her. And she again told him to leave. And I guess he did, because the police found the hatchet in a snowbank. And they watched the store videos and everything. But yeah, this man, he was gonna do something horrible for some donuts. I mean,
I have to wonder about how good these donuts were. There wasn't any cops there at the time.
yeah, true.
They love them some donuts.
That's right.
Except for that one cop in Die Hard that loves Twinkies.
That's so true. So, court documents didn't list an attorney for him, so he does not have an attorney or anything, so I don't know what's going to happen.
He's going to win that one, yeah. Can I get my evidence in here, please? Oh, I got a hatchet.
I need my donuts.
I was thinking the hatchet.
Yeah.
I need my evidence. Evidence number 1. Please hand it over. Here's Johnny.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, my. All right. This one's titled Only in Canada. Trail neighbors hit each other with snow shovels after parking spot dispute. So the Trail BC RCMP was called to a very Canadian incident on Friday night. 2 local men ended up in a physical altercation using their snow shovels as weapons after a dispute about a recently cleared parking spot. According to police, a 33-year-old man had cleared a parking spot in the snow when an unsuspecting 29-year-old woman parked her vehicle there.
My God.
This led him to calling her the B word, a bitch. Police said. When the woman's 28-year-old boyfriend heard that, he came outside of his residence and the 2 neighbors got into a physical altercation. The fight escalated to the point where both men struck each other once with their snow shovels before regressing into a lengthy stare down.
Oh my God. How awkward.
An RCMP release said that the situation de-escalated when the 28-year-old man hugged the 33-year-old man's mom and then left the scene. Please remember to use words. They were 28 and 33. So, quote, please remember to use words, not snow shovels, to solve your winter blues, said Sergeant Mike.
Oh my God.
Whatever his last name is.
At least it ended in a hug.
Yeah.
so funny.
No criminal charges are expected to be pursued.
Oh my God. I could just imagine if, just say me and you got into a heated argument, we were just bashing each other with like these snow shovels, and then we just stop and then we just look at each other and then I go hug your mom. Like, what is that?
Yep. Oh,
my
man.
cheeks hurt.
Imagine that happened in Mississippi.
Oh God. Let's
It
not.
wouldn't be snow shovels.
Yeah, it wouldn't be snow shovels. What would it be? Rakes? Or something like for
Rifles?
Rifles. Oh my gosh.
And in some neighborhoods, burning crosses.
I'll take my cross, so I'll take my cross too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Officers in Polk County, Florida went to a home. You know it's going to be bad. Went to a home on Saturday after a 911 call was made, but nobody spoke. The officers concluded that nobody lived there, but they found a male suspect and his girlfriend inside the home after going through an unlocked door. The woman told the officers that she had called 911 to help them move their belongings from the house that they were robbing. She also She also called to see if she could get a lift to the airport to spend the weekend in New York.
Oh my god.
In a Facebook post, the police said deputies did help them with their belongings and did give them a ride, but it wasn't to the airport. It was to the Polk Pokey, and they are welcome to stay there all weekend long. The Pokey is much better than New York anyway.
Oh, jeez.
Like, they had to be on drugs because,
They were definitely on drugs.
I'm just thinking meth because how do you call 911 and say, hey, I just stole this shit. Will y'all please come help me move it? And by the way, I need to go to the airport. Like, this is not a taxi.
Yeah,
What is happening?
It's definitely a weird way to call a taxi, yes. There's different phone numbers for them than 911. But also, please call 911 every time you're robbing someone and you want to ride.
We love these stories. Keep doing it. We'll keep talking about it.
Exactly. Oh my god. All right, I got another crime one.
Cool.
Not as funny, but New Year's Eve party takes a tragic turn as host dies of a heart attack after accidentally shooting guest dead.
Oh no.
Yes. A New Year's Eve party in India's southern state of Karnataka.
Oh, so this is in India? Oh, wow.
Turned tragic as the host died of a heart attack after accidentally shooting dead one of the guests. This sounds so American, but it's not.
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, I definitely thought it was.
I apologize for messing up the names here, but these are not Indian names that I've seen before.
Yeah.
So Manjaneth, I think, 67, hosted a party at his farmhouse in a city with nearly 50 people in attendance. He was preparing his double-barreled shotgun to fire celebratory shots to ring in the new year when he accidentally shot 34-year-old Vinay Yu, who was standing next to him. The local police said Olker was loading his licensed gun when he accidentally pressed the trigger. Vinay, identified as a friend of the host's son and a PhD scholar, was rushed to a hospital where he succumbed on Sunday.
Damn.
I mean,
Damn.
why would you be shooting off a gun at New Year's Eve?
Well, not that it's a shocker, but I was sitting on our deck on New Year's Eve night, and after midnight, I heard guns going off everywhere. Why people do that, I don't know if they just do that instead of going and buying fireworks. I don't know what it is, but it's like, people are drinking, people are doing other things. And even if you're not drinking or not doing drugs, it's still so unpredictable. Why would you even put anybody in that kind of situation?
I mean, a firework, you shoot it, it explodes wherever it's supposed to go, and it's done. A bullet, you fire it, and it comes back to Earth.
Yeah, what goes up must come down, my friend.
Exactly. So, I don't know about the actual laws in the States, but I know in Canada it is illegal to use a firearm while drinking or under the influence of any kind of drug or alcohol.
Yeah, I don't know if it is here or not, because
There doesn't
people are
seem to
going
be
to
any
do
sensible
it.
laws in a lot of states, so I don't know. It says seeing Vinay in a pool of blood, Olker collapsed. Following the incident, he went into shock and died due to a heart attack. Oh my God. I mean, so awful, but just put your guns away on New Year's.
Please, people.
Put your guns away when you're drinking. I don't know if they were, but I just assume New Year's parties.
I mean, yeah, I just can't see. I just don't feel like that's a sober thing. And maybe it is, but it doesn't sound like a sober thing,
No, it doesn't.
That's tragic, man.
It is, but just put your guns away. Like, if you're going to go shoot, like, hunting or something, bring them out. Yeah, but otherwise leave them locked up somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't need someone doing something stupid and killing a friend or whatever.
Yeah. And you have to live with that. And it's...
Well, he didn't.
Well, he didn't. Yeah. Ooh, he didn't, but some people...
Someone does, yeah.
Yeah. I was so into the little dance we were just doing that I didn't open the thing. Okay. So this is the cutest thing I've ever read, and it is from Los Angeles. And it goes, rules are rules. Animal control officials in Southern California have granted permission for a little girl to keep a unicorn at home, provided she follows strict guidelines. Los Angeles County Animal Care and Control this week shared a letter it received from a little girl named Madeline, and she wrote, Dear LA County, I would like your approval if I can have a unicorn in my backyard if I can find one. Please send me a letter in response. Director Marcia Mayita replied with a letter along with a pre-approved unicorn license, a heart-shaped license tag, and a plush toy unicorn. So it's a little unicorn, and it's got, like, when you take your dog to the vet and they put the it's got that little tag on it. And she was like, you can have this until you find a real one. And the licensing letter included 5 conditions. Number 1, the unicorn must be cared for in compliance with all animal caretaking regulations set forth in LA County Code Title 10. Number 2, the unicorn is given regular access to sunlight, moonbeams, and rainbows. Number 3, the unicorn is fed one of its favorite treats, watermelon, at least once each week. Number 4, the unicorn's horn must be maintained to be in good health. This requires polishing at least once a month with a soft cloth. And number 5, any sparkles or glitter used on the unicorn must be non-toxic and biodegradable to ensure the unicorn's good health. And, you know, it's just so freaking cute. On Twitter, this is a Facebook post. If you go to the County of Los Angeles Department of Animal Care and Control, they have her letter, they have the little license they sent, they have the picture of the unicorn, the tag, everything. It is adorable. That's really cute. It was just the cutest.
So many people have really unsafe, like, backyard zoos and everything. So it's really cute this kid thought to try to get a proper license, even though it's, you know, not a real animal, blah, blah, blah.
Right, but still, that is so...
How old again did it say the kid was?
They did. Oh my gosh, they didn't say. But her handwriting, it looks like she might be from the ages of 6 and 9. This little handwriting.
Pretty young. Probably closer to 6.
Yeah.
That's cute.
So cute. So freaking cute. I was like, okay, I've got one. Since we just did a kind of tragic one, I've got one that will lift everybody up.
I always like when they get, like, a sweet story about a kid, because, there's so many shitty people out there.
Yeah, there's so many, like, shitty stories and stuff, and we never get the positive ones, so I really wanted to share that.
Take that news. Fuck you. Well, let's go from a hero kid wanting to have a unicorn as a pet to a hero teacher, in my opinion.
Okay.
Delta teacher, which is in British Columbia. Delta teacher suspended a day for showing inappropriate movies to grade 2 class. So Cindy Chai Chang Tong showed her students films like The Avengers, Iron Man 3, and even the R-rated horror classic Halloween.
She's a badass.
Grade 2 class. A teacher in the Delta School District has been suspended for a day and ordered to take a course on creating a positive learning environment after admitting to showing adult-oriented movies to her grade 2 students, including an R-rated horror classic Halloween.
Now, I will say Halloween is a bit crossing the line, but like the superhero movies, you know they watch those at home. But what are you thinking, like, doing Halloween?
Halloween.
But listen, when I was in 9th grade, or 8th, we were asked to bring a movie for movie day. My dumbass, I had recorded on a videotape Halloween H2O off the TV, and I brought it, and they got like 5 minutes into it, and they were like, "No, we gotta take this movie out." Like they were like, "We're gonna get
it, whatever."
And I was like, "Well, I thought everybody else would enjoy it." Like,
Cindy Chai Chang Tong, who resigned from the district last year, will be suspended on Wednesday after signing a consent resolution agreement with the BC Teachers Regulator. In the agreed statement of the facts, Tong showed PG-13 movies like The Avengers, Iron Man 3, and an R-rated Halloween. The latter caused students to report they were frightened after watching it.
yeah, I mean, can you imagine? They're going home, they've never seen this movie before, and they're like traumatized. Like, Mom, Dad, oh my God, is Michael Myers outside my window? Like, you're traumatized the kids for life.
So Tong showed students the movies once or twice a week from October 2020 to February 2021, either during breaks or instructional time, and at one point did so 2 days in a row because she had report cards to do.
She was like, fuck them kids, I got shit to do. I'm gonna put this movie on.
At one point, a learning support teacher told Tong she should only show G-rated films to grade 2 students. The next day, the class watched The Avengers, rated PG-13.
She tried, bless her heart.
But the inappropriate movies were only one of Tong's failings as an educator.
Oh, God.
Tong also admitted students said she appeared to pick favorites. Played a mafia-style virtual game where players eliminated people while other players representing police and doctors tried to find the killers and save the victims. Told stories to her class about having engaged in bullying while she was in school, including forcing a student to eat an orange rind and smearing another face with dog feces, punching someone while in high school, and running away.
Okay, so they should have done a mental evaluation on this woman before they let her become a teacher.
I'll just say she was only a hero for the movies.
Yeah.
She also failed to create lesson plans and sometimes made students fill out worksheets without first teaching them the content.
This would literally be me if you just sent me into a school with no kind of proper guideline or anything. I'd be like, okay, Halloween movie, Avengers, you're going to do this. You have no idea what it is, but good luck. Like,
But fuck you anyways.
oh my God, that is hilarious.
Yep.
God, that is funny. Sorry.
I love the end of that.
Too. So I think this is in Bangkok, but 4 monks, including the abbot, were forced to leave the monkhood after urine tests showed evidence of illegal drugs. So the small religious site in, I'm so sorry, I know I'm going to mess this up, Phetchabun province was raided by police and health officials on Monday. The departure of the monks has caused consternation in the local community, which relies on them for religious functions. There has also been concern about what will happen to several dogs and cats that also live in the temple. District officials have reached out to the monastic chief of Bang Sam Phan district, who promised to assign some monks to the temple. Every single one of the monks, including, I guess, is the abbot the leader, kind of like the teacher maybe, but yeah, they all had drugs in their system, so there were no monks, and so they're now recruiting new monks to come to this temple.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Well, that's not crazy surprising. I remember seeing a documentary about the fact that in Thailand and a couple other countries, if you're arrested on serious charges, you could choose to become a monk instead of going to jail.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
So they've had a problem with drugs and murders because these people that are serious criminals end up just picking to become a monk, but then they're kind of left to their own devices.
Yeah. Okay,
And
that
it,
makes sense.
Yeah, it can be really bad sometimes.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's my religion story.
Some people think I'm an alien.
I mean, would you rather have like a gasoline-powered cell phone or a battery-powered cell phone? I mean, it was like no-brainer, you know?
I don't really have a business plan. Yeah, I haven't had a business. I had a business plan way back in the 2 days. Much less than we spend on healthcare, but maybe more than we spend on lipstick. You know, something like that. And I like lipstick, so I can put it in case.
Oh no, the car exploded.
Like if you had like crack cocaine on Mars, like in pre-packaged, pallets, it still wouldn't make sense to transport it back here.
Oh my god, that is
I
gold.
found some gold. So Elon Musk encourages civil debate on Twitter, but is accused of bias suspension on left-leaning accounts. So Elon Musk is getting called out on Twitter for encouraging users to engage in civil debate about politics, although banned left-leaning accounts have not been reinstated. The Musk era of Twitter continues, and people who have chosen to stay on on the now ever-changing social platform are keeping tabs on its new CEO's latest ideas and tweets. On Sunday, Musk, who has long pushed for the platform to respect free speech, and recently brought back previously banned accounts from Donald Trump and Kanye West, was accused of being biased against left-wingers after he claimed he'd like Twitter users to partake in civil debate. Just a note to encourage people of different political or other views to engage in civil debate on Twitter, Musk tweeted. Worst case, the other side has a slightly better understanding of your views.
Unless it hurts my feelings, and then
his comment immediately caught the attention of Twitter users who began naming left-leaning accounts Musk suspended that remain that way. How can these accounts participate in debate if they're suspended?
Exactly, and that's the way he really wants it. Like,
yeah,
if you can reinstate Trump to Twitter, come on.
Yeah. So the quote, "Why did you suspend Chan Loader?" Another Twitter user asked, referring to the founder of a cybersecurity specialty company called Habituate. Loader's account was banned from the site after he took to Twitter on November 23rd to warn users about an alleged data breach on the site. So he tried to warn people that Twitter was breached and got banned. Musk has also suspended accounts of VPS Reports, the account for independent journalist Vashal P. Singh, who was banned after posting about journalist Andy Ngio's alleged ties to two convicted child sexual assault predators.
Oh, wow.
Musk recently reinstated accounts for several far right-wing figures, including Alex Jones, Mike Lindell, Steve Bannon, and more. Meanwhile, you're returning your accounts of for people who are the cause of this, another user said in response to his tweet. Musk's post has been retweeted more than 14,000 times and has more than 141,000 likes. Yeah,
I haven't been keeping up with Elon like I did in the beginning, but I do know. Were you there, or have you seen the clip of when he was in Spaces on Twitter? And oh my God, when he ran out of that space and then he shut down Spaces, he banned those journalists for asking a question. It was just a question, and he couldn't take
Twitter
it.
Blue. You know, it's going to be $8 a month.
It was $11
so we all
now.
pay for it and make fun of things and pretend to be other brands, and suddenly Twitter Blue's gone.
Yeah. I think people
Maybe
were
you
saying,
should actually work out what you're doing before you just throw shit at the wall. Fucking idiot.
no. Why would you mess with things that already work? Like,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
verification system was already working fine. Not everybody needed to be verified. That's stupid. And
Yeah.
now it's like $11.
Well, and I love, like, two-factor authentication is required to get back into account. Let's turn off the servers that deal with two-factor authentication.
Ah, yes!
So that if you get logged out, you're fucked.
Yes! I mean, oh my Jesus. But not reinstating certain accounts shows your bias and shows
yeah.
that you're not for free speech.
Exactly. He's not at all. Of course not. He's about right-wing speech.
Yeah. And hate speech has been fine.
Yeah.
The hate speech has been flowing like, it's just been going great.
Oh,
hate
yeah.
speech
But
has
then
been...
if you want to, like, stop racism or, fight against climate change, you get banned.
Or especially calling out people who are in the business of doing bad things to children, you're definitely gonna be knocked off of there because he doesn't want any of that to come to light.
He doesn't. All right, I got another one here.
Okay. Yay.
Colbert comforts Elon Musk for losing over $100 billion. Everyone has to cut back on how many cars we shoot into space.
Oh my god.
So Stephen Colbert again ensnared himself a bit with embattled Twitter CEO Elon Musk on Wednesday, teasing the world's richest man for losing a reported $170 billion in the 2022 calendar year. And it couldn't happen to a nicer man. That's what I had. Walking through the day's headlines in his late show segment, meanwhile, Colbert got to Musk, saying, after a series of very public setbacks, Elon Musk's 2022 wealth loss exceeds $100 billion. The live studio audience erupted into applause before Colbert offered him some comfort and advice. Listen, Elon, I know belt tightening is no fun, but you're not alone in these tough economic times, okay? All of us are having to cut back on how many we shoot into space.
Let me tell you, Stephen Colbert is probably, besides Trevor Noah, those two are kind of a tie for me, but they're my favorites. Yeah. They're my favorite late night people that do kind of political stuff. Like Jimmy Fallon is good, and, so the others are too. But Stephen Colbert, he is just amazing.
Yeah.
Now, I love hearing him deliver. His delivery is so fucking good. I just cannot.
Yeah. So Twitter isn't the only company of Musk's giving him strife. Shares of Musk Tesla, which make up most of his wealth, are trading at their lowest level since November 2020, thanks to a string of challenges from the electric car maker. Those include supply chain problems, high material costs, COVID-related issues in China, and taillight recall that affected more than 300,000 cars. As a result, Tesla shares have plummeted 57.52% in the past year. And again, this came out November 24th. It's way worse now.
Yeah, wow.
After dropping 6.8% in New York trading Monday, TSLA rebounded slightly Tuesday, but not much. Colbert also mocked Musk earlier this week for Twitter's nosedive of advertisers, joking that Musk's SpaceX, thankfully, is still sticking to the big advertising campaign on Twitter.
Oh my god. So, one thing I wonder is how much money Elon has now, and I wonder how much he's going to lose this year. I just, I don't wish bad on people, but
I wish bad on billionaires. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but when you have that much money and you're not doing anything to help people with it, or
I mean, most billionaires will give to the Gates Foundation, which most of the money goes to managing the money and not actually helping people.
I know.
So billionaires and the Gates Foundation has also been found to loan money back to Bill Gates.
Yeah.
So it's not really a charitable thing.
It's just staying in that same pool.
It's just bullshit.
Yep.
So it says here that he lost $169.8 billion last year, and Last year, he hit the highest at 340 billion. So he's probably
Close
halfway
to
down.
Yeah.
He lost about 50%.
Can you imagine if he's the next Kanye, like just broke? Like at least
I really hope so.
You know,
would warm my heart if
just to see
he
somebody
was broke.
humbled in that way, that you have to
Yeah.
come back down from you think you're the shit and finally come back down to earth with us.
And find out you're
little
shit.
people. Yeah. He could not last a day as a, quote unquote
Average
normal
person.
person.
Yeah. I got one more Twitter or Elon Musk one.
Okay.
Talking more about the free speech of Twitter, right? Twitter account tracking Elon Musk's private jet gets shadow banned.
Oh yeah.
A Twitter account tracking Elon Musk's private jet across the world suddenly flew under the radar earlier this month, with users finding they could no longer search for the automated account or tag it in tweets through suggested usernames. And also it's been fully banned since.
Yes.
The reason for the heavy restrictions on its accessibility, according to the bot's creator, Jack Sweeney, was that Twitter staffers had dampened the account in a targeted effort and had the receipts to prove it. And the craziest part here, too, is that what this guy was doing was taking publicly available data.
Yep.
If you know the tail number of a plane, you can track any plane.
Yes.
Similar to ships, cargo ships in the sea.
Yep.
If you know the number and the name, you can track it.
Yeah.
So he was doing absolutely nothing wrong. He was just using publicly available data that is not up to date, like, right away. It's usually about, half a day old.
Exactly. And he was trying to call it doxing, which it's not, because like you just said, I was going to say it's a delayed. It's delayed.
Yeah, for safety, because they don't want people to be able to, say, target a plane with a missile, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This man is so ridiculous. He's just dumb.
I love this too, because the account has been officially banned, and so has the other guy's personal Twitter account. This is a quote from Elon. "My commitment to free speech extends even to not banning the account following my plane, even though that is a direct personal safety risk," the billionaire tweeted at the time.
God.
Flight records are considered private or public information as taxpayers pay for runways, towers, and air traffic controllers. So yeah, the guy did nothing wrong,
my mind.
and free speech didn't work because it doesn't work for Elon all of a sudden.
Yeah, if it affects him, if it hurts his feelings, if he gets in his feelings about it, you might as well fucking forget it.
I also love that Musk in January. So this would have been last January, 2022 January, I guess. He reportedly, Musk offered to pay this 19-year-old $5,000 to delete the account.
Yeah,
The world's richest man was willing to part with $5,000. Like, fucking pull out your wallet, you douchebag. Like, offer him some real money.
I would have been like, I'll do it for $2 million. How about that?
or even add a zero or two, like offer $50,000 or $500,000. Like, offer this kid some money to put him through school or something, and he might actually get rid of it.
Yeah, that money to him is like a few dollars, which is an insult.
Yeah, like it'd be like me saying, "I'll give you $2."
Yeah, I'll give you 5 cents. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Here, keep the change. The change is a penny.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Fucking idiot.
I cannot wait for more of our Elon segments. It's going to get interesting. Promise you. It's already like so good. I can't. Okay, so this is in Hobart, Australia. And one evening, this woman, Kirsten Lynch, went to reach for what she thought was her puppy's little toy when it suddenly ran away. She said, I went to reach for it and it shot underneath the couch. Well, it was a Tasmanian devil. And it can grow to around the size of a large house cat. But she was so shocked because she thought it was one of her puppy's stuffed toys. So she goes to reach for it. It shoots under the couch. She freaks out. And her husband carefully escorted the Tasmanian devil, who's known to fly into a rage when threatened by a predator, out of their house using a broom.
Yeah, like that's the very, very, very vicious fucking house cat. It would be like a Wolverine in Canada. Like, don't fuck with that animal.
Yeah, but this one, I don't know, the way they're showing it, it's so little.
I think I saw a picture of it. It looks pretty big. Like,
okay, it might be.
I mean,
it might
it's
be.
like the size of a house cat or whatever it said. But
Yeah.
they've got vicious, vicious claws and teeth, I think.
Yeah. It said the woman and her children were gathered on top of their kitchen table with bated breath as the husband and father shoot out the creature. And the woman told this newspaper, quote, "We were concerned that if she or he was cornered and scared, they would bite someone. I got the fright of my life. But to be honest, I think the poor thing was more terrified of us." Aww.
Oh, poor bastard. But also, holy shit.
Oh, she said the Tasmanian devil likely, well, she calls it, she says the devil likely got through the fence behind Gecko and walked in. Oh, Gecko must be their dog. It got behind the dog and walked in through the door beside it. And the puppy is still potty training, so they do leave the door open sometimes. So, oh my gosh. Can you imagine leaving your door open and something like a Tasmanian devil comes into your house?
Yeah, well,
Holy
this is
shit.
Australia, right?
Yeah.
Where there's like venomous spiders and
Everything in Australia
venomous
can kill
snakes
you.
and venomous this and poisonous that, and everything's trying to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Let's leave the door open.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Fuck that. Burn the house down.
Yeah.
Run away.
Yeah, if a Tasmanian devil can get into your house, then I just imagine that there are 3-foot tall spiders. Like they're furry and they can get in your house. Oh God, no.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
I am seeing this picture of this Tasmanian devil, and okay, that is pretty big, and the
it's not
teeth look
huge,
sharp.
but it's still, looks vicious. All right. So I'm going to head back to India here.
Oh, all right.
The headline is Rats Eat 200 kilogram cannabis stash seized from drug dealers in India.
Oh no.
So let me just do a quick calculation here. 200 kilograms, 2 pounds. 440 pounds of cannabis.
Holy. Oh my God.
So, police in India have blamed rats for destroying nearly 200 kilograms of cannabis seized from criminals and kept in police stations. According to Country Heard, how the rodents had, in some cases, eaten the marijuana being kept as evidence.
Oh,
the judge
wow.
cited 3 cases in which marijuana was destroyed by rodents. A statement read to the court said rats are tiny animals and they have no fear of the police. It's difficult to protect the drugs from them.
Oh my God, that much? These poor little mice had to be so completely stoned. I mean, oh my God. Wow.
So Judge Sanjay Chaudhary said in an order that when the court asked the police to produce the seized drug as evidence, it was told the 195 kilograms of cannabis had been destroyed by rats. In another case involving 386 kilograms of the drugs, the police filed a report saying some of the cannabis was eaten up by the rats.
Oh my God. That is just so wild. I'm speechless just thinking about these mice and rats just destroying this.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So the same judge told the court around 700 kilograms of marijuana seized by the police was lying in police stations in Mathura district, and that all of it was under danger of infestation by rats.
No, wow.
He said that the police had no expertise in dealing with the matter of the rats.
Who would?
Because they were too small. The only way to protect the seized goods from such fearless mice, he added, was to auction the drugs to research labs and medicine firms, with the proceeds going to the government.
Well, that is a good choice.
Oh, I love this. In 2018, 8 Argentinian police officers were fired after they blamed mice for the disappearance of half a ton of cannabis from police warehouse.
Oh my God. But what if they're not lying? I mean, they're probably lying. But now it's like, oh shit, maybe they were telling the truth. Maybe that's so far-fetched.
What is half a ton to pounds? That's like 1,100 pounds.
Well, depending on how many mice or rats, hey, it might have been more than what got into this. So I don't know.
So experts dispute the claim, saying that the animals were unlikely to confuse the drug for food, and if a large group of mice had eaten it, a lot of the corpses would be found around the warehouse.
Well, yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Oh my God, in 2017, police in the eastern Indian state of Bihar had blamed rats for consuming thousands of liters of confiscated alcohol a year after the state banned the sale of
shut
consumption
your
of alcohol.
mouth. I can see mice eating something, but drinking the alcohol, get out of here. Get out of here.
Fucking love it. Fucking bullshit.
So do you think that they made up this mouse thing for this story?
Maybe, I don't know. Police have been well known to steal the pot or whatever drugs. I mean, I knew someone growing up. His uncle was a police officer, an RCMP officer, who would take the confiscated drugs and before it was brought into the station would sell it to someone else.
Yeah.
Officers do it all the time, and it's terrible, and it's bullshit, and they arrest people for doing the exact same thing. It's almost like they're hypocrites.
Almost. Just almost. Yeah.
Almost.
Oh my God. Even if it's an excuse or it's not, it's hilarious. And to even think that the mice are going to get into alcohol, I just can't even with that. I just can't. It just reminds me of a little cartoon mouse, hiccuping and a little bubble coming out of its mouth, hiccup.
Yeah.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Okay, so you're not gonna believe this story, but it's real. There is an album coming out, or it is out now, and it's of frog calls, and they're hoping to they're hoping to top the charts.
They're gonna hop to the top?
Yeah, they're gonna hop to the top, right over Taylor Swift, and they're hoping to gain the #1 spot in Australia's music charts above Taylor. So it says,
Swift, they're coming for you.
Yes. Scientists want to raise awareness of the declining frog population, which has seen a steep fall since the 1980s, by releasing an album of frog sounds. The album features 43 of the most threatened frogs, and the researchers behind it want to take Taylor Swift's #1 spot in the ARIA Top 50 Songs. Asked if the frogs could knock the star off the top spot, lead scientist at Frog ID, Dr. Jody Rowley, said, quote, "I'm hoping the frogs can do it. It's an amazing album for a really good cause, and we've really had a good response so far, so my fingers are crossed. We need to get as many pre-orders as possible to knock those guys off the charts." Speaking about the falling numbers of frogs, she said the sounds are, quote, "probably something we won't get to hear in the wild ever again. I'm really hoping these calls, particularly these threatened species, actually ignite the spark in people to make sure that the future generations can hear these calls and we don't rob them of that opportunity." Oh, that's kind of sad.
I really hope that those scientists found a frog that was spurned by another frog so that they could write a song about how angry they were at that person, or that frog, sorry. That's the only way they're going to get over T Swift.
Yes! Ribbit, motherfucker!
Ribbit.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I had to share that.
Fucking weird.
It is. I had to do it.
All right, and on a less fun note,
Uh-oh.
Indonesia set to criminalize sex, cohabitation before marriage for citizens and tourists.
Do what?
Indonesia is on track to outlaw sex and cohabitation outside of marriage with penalties of up to a year in prison, according to government officials. The new criminal code, which would apply to both citizens and foreigners, is expected to pass on December 15th, so it might have already passed.
Yeah.
Or as early as next week, or as this week, officials told Reuters. Under the law, those who have sex before marriage may be punished with up to a year in prison, while those who live together out of wedlock face up to 6 months behind bars.
Wow.
According to the new law, parents of single people who engage in sex may report their own children, while complaints of adultery may only be filed by a husband or a wife.
Oh
The
my
legislation
gosh.
has reportedly been decades in the making. A previous draft was slated to be passed in 2019, but was met with massive protests in cities across the Muslim-majority country, according to the BBC.
My question is, how do they know who's doing it and who's not? It's just like if you get reported, I guess.
People reporting, yeah. People snitching. And I mean, you could snitch on someone and it isn't true, but there's no proof.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. What if somebody has a vendetta against you and they're like, well, so-and-so was having sex the other night. How do you know?
Look at the fucking witch trials. Right?
Yeah.
People died because, it was this person.
Yeah, that's fucking
This is
sad.
another fucking witch trial.
Yeah.
The criminal code also contains provisions against insulting the president and state institutions, as well as airing views that deviate from Indonesia's state ideology. Civil rights groups have sounded the alarm on the possibility of misinterpretation.
Man, that is jacked up.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah. And the fact that some people do have parents that are so vengeful or don't like their kids and would do this as a lie, just like, other people. But, oh my God.
And business groups have also raised concerns on the law's potential to impact tourism and investment. Bali, for one, has consistently placed as a top destination for various listings this year. For the business sector, the implementation of this customary law shall create legal uncertainty and make investors reconsider investing in Indonesia.
Yeah, so people that go there on vacation and they're not married, but they're boyfriend and girlfriend, oh, wow.
Yep. So this is a quote: "The state cannot manage morality. The government's duty is not as an umpire between conservatives and liberal Indonesia." So that's my story about Indonesia, which is really unfortunate because I fucking hate to see this kind of bullshit happen.
I know.
Just let people have sex. Like,
I know.
for fuck's sake.
What is so bad? What is so bad about it? I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, my favorite meme that I've seen recently was something about, someone posted a thing about sex is only to be between a married man and woman. And then someone goes back, well, I'd like to see the marriage certificate between Adam and Eve then, thanks.
Yes! That.
Like, oh,
exactly.
fuck you. Why are people so dumb?
Why are people?
Why are people? Just stop right there. Why are people?
Fuck them all.
Yeah. On that note. Make sure you behave or
fuck around and find out.
And you might find yourself on next month's BrewVerie Report.
For all the sources for this episode of BrewVerie, head to Reverie True Crime Podcast or Brew Crime Podcast's feeds on your favorite podcast host. This has been a production of Brew Crime Podcast and Reverie True Crime.